Hi, Aryan. Hopefully, you guys are doing well. This is your facilitator for SBL, Strategic Business Leadership. And so far, we have just received the pre-seen information that's going to be tested for the upcoming September 2024 exam. So, as per the precedents that I have always set, what we are going to do, we are going to have a discussion sessions on the pre-seen information. And after that, what we'll do, I'll make one particular mock after analyzing this complete pre-seen and will solve it for all the students, right? And will solve it for all the students. And secondly, what I'll do, I'll make another mock and will share it with you. And this will be based on this pre-seen. So you will have an industry knowledge. You can have the expectations that what you can be and how you can be tested in the exam, right? So this is so far my plan, and the pre-seen has just been arrived. So therefore, I thought I should be making a class. We'll have 3 to 4 discussion sessions, like, and then we'll have 3 to 4 past paper classes of the mock based on pre-seen, and then we'll give you particular another mock to solve it by yourself, and you can attempt any papers you want without any cost, right? So now, SBL, Strategic Business Leadership, Pre-Seen Information, applicable for the September 2024. This is the content table. And in content, obviously, you have some industry knowledge that you should be taking here, right? Now, TNC industry information, what's that? We should have an idea. Overview of the market, BLAN market, TNC services, TNC customers, TNC drivers, the ride hailing and ride sharing process, so food delivery, driverless electric vehicles. Now, this is nearly to, I'll say, a transport related market. TNC might be a transport one, right? A transport related market, I'll say they have tested now. So we just have to see what exactly they have tested with us. Then TNC drivers are there, the customers are there. So Beago overview, this might be our company. This is particularly I'll say industry knowledge, right? These are the industry knowledge paragraphs, and these are, I'll say, the industry or company knowledge, right? Or company knowledge, and obviously we'll see what we can have here. We'll read. These are the content table. And after reading the content, you must have an idea that what can be tested. Just like if they have given you industry challenges, so questions on the industry or these challenges, how they are impacting our particular company, they could be tested, right? We have some KPIs, key performance indicators, some regulations if it's transport related. So there can be environmental concern, there can be customer security concern, right? Once we have gone through the first paragraph of the industry, you'll know what exactly they have tested. And if we had an experience of that industry, this is surely going to be an easy one, right? This is surely going to be an easy pre-seen if you are from that industry, or you have been to that industry, or you have used that industry, right? Then risk is their leadership structure. Now, this is one first time that they have tested leadership in any of the pre-seen. They have given the idea of the leadership, right? So this is the first time. Then website extracts and all that. So let's just have an idea of these pages, like what they have made, and then we can talk further on, right? Now, Beago is a transport network company. So I told you it's a transport network company, right? Operating in the country of BLAN. So our country is BLAN, and we are a transport network company. Now, after reading the transport network company, what came in my mind? It's Uber, Careem, right? InDrive. These are probably the companies they have made a frame of in this pre-seen. I've just read the first line, right? I've just seen this picture, and I got an idea that this might be the industry they have tested, right? And see, why I say that this pre-seen is very easy, because in our complete life so far, we have been to Uber, we have used Uber, we have used Kareem. In fact, I am currently on travel, right? And I am usually using Kareem here. So the reason is that these companies are so frequent in our daily life that we exactly know what happens. And what I believe is that when we sit with an Uber driver or Kareem driver, we sometimes discuss with them like what they are doing, how this app works. So the thing is that you know about that, huh? You know about these things now, which has a population over 200 million people. So this company operating in an industry which has a population of 200 million people. Now, Beago was established. Beago is our company. I'll highlight the company information with yellow one, okay? 12 years ago, and has since grown to become the second largest TNC business in B land. So it's the second largest TNC business, the transport network business. And on what basis? It's based on revenue and customer numbers. Like if we are talking about the drivers, so we are not the second largest. If we are talking about any particular else profit, we are not the second largest, but we are the second largest based on revenue as well as based on customer numbers, right? Based on revenue as well as on based on customers. Okay. Did you get this? Great. So TNC's industry information. Now, what's that? Huh? TNC's industry information. Now, what's that? We'll cover particularly in this part, this complete page, and we'll try to cover this as well, because it will take around 3 to 4 classes to analyze this complete and I'll say pre-seen, and then I'll make mocks on that so that I'll require 1 or 2 days to completely map the mocks and requirement that can be tested. So now, TNC is a business which provides on-demand transportation services to customers through a website or mobile app-based platform. So what we do, we provide a transportation services through a mobile. If you have mobile, just download the application of this company and just book your ride. So what they have done, they have completely tested the Kareem model here, right? Now, unlike traditional taxi cab hire businesses, TNC do not maintain their own fleets. TNC doesn't have their own fleets. What they do, they employ the drivers directly. Now, what they do, guys, they don't want their own cars. They want you people that here are the people, they just register their car there and start running. So this is the TNC model overall the world, and SBL has tested as well that the transport network companies, they don't want the cars, they want the drivers. Those have the cars, right? They don't want the cars, they want drivers that have the car, right? Now, unlike traditional taxi cab hire businesses, TNCs do not maintain their own fleets. Instead, individual drivers of cars work as in contractors, right? Now, customer requests a ride through the platform and are then connected to the driver, is also connected to the platform. For the purpose of this pre-seen and this case study exam, the term TNC will be used to define businesses which offers range of services outlined. So now for this pre-seen, what they have done, for this pre-seen, they have said that TNC just don't put customers, pick customers from here and then transport there. No, no, no. They are saying that they do some other things as well. Huh? Some other things as well, services outlined. Now, sir, what are the services outlined? Now, sir, what are the services outlined? Go on page 3. So, what's that? It's service ride sharing, it's ride hailing, right? And it's micro mobility. So these are three services: customer rentals, business services. So there are 5 type of services these TNCs are performing. We don't know what are these, but we know that there are certain services. Rather than just pick and drop your customers, we know there are certain services, or we can say the certain products that we offer and they are using these services to provide to the customer. So you should have your mind that we have 4 or 5 products that our company is offering, right? Now, Beeland has a developed economy. So our country is a well-developed economy, and nearly 80% of its population live working its urban areas. So 80% of the population is live working in the urban areas, right? So it's in the developed economy. People are working in the main cities, and they have some good facilities as well. They must have the income as well. So just run your mind like that, right? Like if I am operating in a developed economy, so there won't be any particular uh, uh, inflation impacts. There won't be any particular, I'll say, conversion impacts. So think of that, right? Think like that. So it's a public transport facility including buses and trains, and have come under increasing pressure in recent years due to rapidly growing urban population, right? So it's a rapidly growing urban population here, huh? It's a rapidly growing urban population, leading to overcrowding and unreliability. Yeah, one more thing, that if your main urban cities or urban areas are full, or are filling fast, so that means your total population is being shifted there, and that might be the concern for the people. Like you might not be having enough space, you might not be having enough drivers to put them here and there. So these are all the factors, right? And believe me, examiner loves that. Like if you start thinking on your own about the industry, because you have using this industry, or you have been in this industry, this will really inspire examiner that this guy has, or this girl has just thought more than that, right? Rather than just reading this complete pre-scene. And that's why I take analysis. I don't just take one class and put the complete pre-scene into you. I want you guys to think of it as well. I want you guys to observe what you have been through and what you have gone through this particular factor, right? Now, so it's the public transport facilities included buses and trains, and have come under increasing pressure in recent years due to rapidly growing urban population. Yeah, so they have some good buses and trains, they have some good buses, but the problem is that they are not into the buses, or they cannot carry that growing population in the buses and trains. So they need to launch something, huh? They need to have something, leading to overcrowding and unreliability. Yeah, and believe me guys, this overcrowding issue is a big issue. Like I'm currently in Dubai, and here the metro station that I've used once, it's a peak season here, right? So it's totally an overcrowded factor. So what's that? That's basically that the public transport is being overcrowded. So what tourists currently prefers, they prefers the individual drivers or the taxis that they have, but that's the traditional one. So what they want currently at their hotel, and from the hotel they want to go on to the complete other feature or other area. So what they want their particular driver, right? To avoid this overcrowding. Now, there are 2 type of people. That one that can suffer through the metro and can bear up that this overcrowdedness, and the other one that cannot suffer and they want something else. Okay. Now, Beeland's government is therefore supportive to innovative ways to address the transport challenges. So our government is also addressing the transport challenges, because they don't want their tourism get stopped, and their novel people get I'll say panicked, right? So facing the country's main cities, so TNCF proved to be popular in the cities as they offer convenient and reasonably priced, right? Reasonably priced alternative to public transport. So the thing is that TNCs are being preferred by government, right? These are the main pointers that you should be remembering. There's a transport issue in the country, in a particular city. And why? Because mainly the rural areas, people have been shifted to the urban areas, and therefore the local transport is not accommodative for the people, and therefore government want to address these transport challenges. Government want to address these transport challenges, and for that they are usually, and for that they basically wanted to close this issue by giving supportive ways to the people that they can do. And therefore, the TNCs came into life and they've proven to be popular. Why? Because they provide the convenient. We don't have to suffer in the metro, or we don't have to suffer in the train where there are many people, or we don't have to suffer that. If we want to travel, it's a reasonably priced alternative to the public transport, so we can do that. And yeah, one student can think of it that if I got a sharing with 2 or 3 people, so that would also reduce my cost. Yeah, now see, this is the thought process that you should be having. This is the thought process that you should be having. Now, the government of Beeland sees TNCs as alternative to people owning and using their own cars. And yeah, and this is an alternative to own a car. See, what I have read, a great writer have stated that good country, a great writer has stated that a good country is not in which all the people have their own cars, right? It's not the good country or the developed country. What can be a good or developed country? It's that despite having the cars, the people are using the transport services provided by the government. That shows the efficiency of government. That shows the efficiency of government. So that means that this is particularly the right thing, that this TNCs is the alternative to the cars available. This TNCs is alternative to the cars available, right? The government of BLN says that this is alternative to the cars available. And if they've provided such accommodative picture to all the people, so that's right, it's alternative to them. Huh? That's right, it's alternative to them. Now, Zenbi is Beago's main competitor and was the first of TNC's business established in B-land. So we are Beagos, right? We are Beagos, and the one is Zenbi. You can replace these words with Uber and Kareem, no problem. One is Uber, one is Kareem. Well, uh, Zenbi and Beago, main competitor, and was the first TNC business established in B-land, right? It was the first TNC business that has established in B-land 14 years ago. Zenbi is currently the largest TNC operating in B-land. It's the largest TNC operating in B-land, right? And is also the world's second largest TNC. So it's the world's second largest, right? And largest in B-land. And this was the first one. And then we came, the Beago came, right? So that means then we must have enough market. And Zenbi is an international brand. One thing. We don't know about ourselves. We haven't read that. But we know about the Zenbi, our prime competitor. That's an international brand that they have, right? So currently operating in all 50 countries. Beago was established 2 years after Zenbi, and over the years has gradually obtained a significant proportion of Zenbi's market share. So Beago came just 2 years after Zenbi. So we are 2 years younger than that, right? We are 2 years smaller, we are 2 years later, and gradually we got significant proportion of the market share. So we have the market share and we attracted the market share. How? Might be giving some discounts, might be particularly giving some of the key routes to the people and the good discounts. Or yeah, since I've been using, would you guys know that I've been ordering my food through Kareem? So these are particularly the factors that these TNCs are giving to me, so that I prefer those. So we must have given some factors to the people that they have allowed us such a great market share, right? Now see, one thing to be noted here is that Beago only operates in B-land, offering its services in 250 cities. Now, our competitor is one, it's operating in 50 countries, and whereas we are the one that have been into the one country, but in 250 cities. So the competitor is the one large organization, right? Competitor is the one large organization. So currently, the local authority of each city sets its own criteria of licenses and their drivers. So the local authorities have the factors to set the criteria for the riders. They have one, right? They have one that how to adjust your riders. So currently, the local authority have the right that what our riders capacity should be have, right? Capability, capacity should have. Several businesses have been attracted to Beeline market in the last decade, but most of these currently only operate within the limited number of cities. So TNC businesses have been attracted, but they are not as big as we are, and we are not as big as Zenbi is, right? So this is the point to be noted that there are many TNC businesses, but they do not operate in many cities since we operate in 250 cities. And similarly, we operate in only one country, whereas the Zenbi operate in 50 countries, right? So this is an attractive market, but again, this requires some of the good. This requires some of particularly good factors to attract your riders because you do not own the fleet. You need the drivers, and you need to give a good amount to the drivers or good bonuses to the drivers, right? So operate with a limited number of cities, and then together Zenbi and Beago had 85% of the market in the B land. So we are the 85% market holders, and remaining small transport network providers are the 15% market holder, right? Now, customer registered with TNCs in B land have doubled the last years. So customers are preferring one thing to be highlighted that customers are preferring these services, right? Customers are preferring these services. They have been opting these services, right? So by the end of 2023, 25% of VLAN's population were active users of TNC service. So our complete population, what was the population? It was 200 million people. So 50 million people, guys, 50 million people have been using TNCs. And out of that, 85%. So if we are using 50 million into 85%, so it's 42.5 million are the customers of Beago and Zenbi. So these are the analysis that examiner wants from you to have, right? So 50 million people, 50 million people, and 25% population is using this. And out of that 50 million, we have the 42 with two competitors, right? We have 42 with two competitors. Now, competition chart, Now, competition chart. What's the competition chart here? Just see that. Competition from customers also comes from traditional taxi cabs and from public transport, including trains and buses, right? So here's a trend chart. Once we'll see this trend chart, what does it say? The trend chart says that our number of users have been increasing for this TNC. So you can see here that the TNC users following increasing trend. They have told us earlier as well. They have told us earlier as well that they have been following the increasing trend. And here we see, and what's that? It's simple that our year-on-year growth is tragic and straight, and we are growing like. Whereas the other particular chart says that this TNC market share that BLAN is giving us a good picture of the competition, Zenbi, Beago, and other. So see, what we have got here, that in 2000, we had just Zenbi, then 2001, 2002, we got Beago. Here, a little one, see, a little one. Here comes the Beago. And after that, we have followed a growing trend in which we have got a good market of Zenbi. So see, the Zenbi's market has declined. And why is that? Because we have been growing. and whereas the others have also been contributed. So that means we have given a tough competition over the years to Zenbi, and by together we are now leaders here. We have the monopoly, we too have the duopoly, I'll say, of having this complete idea. So, guys, till now, what we did till now, we had a complete industry picture that what's its testing. It's basically a simple driving application that have been tested, a transport network company that have been tested. And believe me, if you have used Uber, Cream, and Drive once or twice, or if you have been tourist to any country and have been using that, so that means you have a good idea that how this industry works. They have the transport services through the website and the mobile app-based platform. And I'm sure that many people will be using it through the mobile. They do not open the laptop to book in your transport network, right? We are the 12 years previous winner. If we revise that what we have done, so we are the 12 years, we have establishment of 12 years, whereas our competitor has establishment of 14 years. Yeah, right. And we do not buy the cars, we hire drivers and they work as individual independent contractors, right? We provide just not the transport services, we provide other services, but we're gonna be having that in the other parts, right? We're going to be discussing that in the other parts. We are developed economy. We have 80% population in the urban area. So that means our major stake is the developed cities. And for that, we need buses and trains. But since many people have shifted to the urban area, we cannot accommodate them in the buses and trains. So therefore, government is very supportive to the transport networks if they come into our life, but in our country, to address these transport challenges. So this is again a fine talk. Then we talk about the Zenbi, which is the 14 years ago, right? We came 12 years ago. Our competitor came 14 years ago, and he is the largest PNC operating. But again, through the chart, we have seen that we are giving him a toughest competition now. So far, the difference is very less, and we are giving him a tough competition, right? We are giving him a tough competition. So, TNCs have been attractive in the B-land market in the last decade, but most of these currently operate with a limited number of cities. So, our competitor, the small, the little one, these competitors are in number of cities, whereas we are in 250 cities, whereas our competitor, it's in 50 countries, right? So the criteria for the drivers, read this line, please. The criteria for the drivers have been set by the local authority. So they give the licenses. So it's not in our hand to give the licenses. The licenses are given by the local authority, and then the rider will come to us and will give us the license at the car, and we'll onboard him, right? We'll onboard him. So it's 25% of population or active users, and that's significant. 200 million, that means 50 million people, right, in 250 cities. So that's great. Huh? So that's great. So sir, now when can we expect the other parts and what we have to do, what you are offering? So see, after analyzing this complete first and the half page, what there are 10 pages, I'll have 3 to 4 sessions. So this is the part 1 of the analysis of pre-seen, right? Analysis of pre-seen, right? So it will take 4 parts. It's part 1, then I'll have part 2, and it will be uploaded daily, might be twice in a day, right? And part 4. So this will be particularly this, and in part 4 we'll have the questions that can be tested. I'll provide a summary at questions that can be tested. Okay, so this is part 4. So we'll be doing that first, and then today's date is 21st August, right? On the 25th August, I will release a mock based on, this TNC, the Beago company, right? What I'll do, I'll research on my end. I'll look for the other professional bodies that if they have tested these kind of industry, so they must have given a brief knowledge, and I'll compile my mock here for the first mock, and this will be solved completely by me, right? This will be solved completely by me, okay? Then on 27th of August, what I'll do, I'll provide another mock for students, right? I'll provide another mock for students. What students can do, they have to solve according to time condition, right? According to time condition, the exam time condition, and send for feedback, right? So they have to send it for the feedback. And after that, you can solve any paper that you have done. You can solve any paper that you have done and send it to me. Once again, I'll highlight that these two mocks will be industry-based. This industry-based, right? These two mocks will be this industry-based, okay? So analysis of pre-seen, right, part 1 have already been done, and it will be uploaded to LMS, the LMS that our learning provider have, Mirshala SAB of Accountancy. I'll upload it there, and as well as I'll put that on YouTube, right? So these 4 classes is that I'll be putting it on my YouTube channel, right? Now, these things, like the mocks based on that, this will take 3 to 4 classes, another mock, and the other classes that I've already took for this session are part of our crash course, right? Our revision session. So any student, those who are interested in enrolling in this, they have to contact me here, +92 331 2623 849. It's my WhatsApp number. You have to contact me here for that, right? Elsewise, my YouTube channel is with you, and I have accommodated many classes there, and you can see that, right? Yeah, for already enrolled students, this is part of it, right? The students, those who are already enrolled, they will be part of it. There's no fee for that, right? No fees for this. They are already enrolled, so we don't need any fees for this, right? The students, those who just want revision, can contact me here. Otherwise, they can only see the pre-seen analysis and the questions that can be tested. These are part of these classes, and I'll upload on my channel. And apart from that, if you guys want a particular checking of any paper that you have attempted, you can obviously send it to me, and I'll provide the best of my feedback that I can do, and I'll try to help as much as possible that you can pass this paper, and I wish you best of luck for that, right? So see you in the next session, particularly for this pre-seen, and hopefully you guys can contact me discussing any queries that you have, or if you want to bring up more ideas, you can discuss with me, and I'll provide more analysis to this pre-seen shortly, okay? Thank you.